Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Danbury. Please silence your phones if you have not done so already. I'm Joni Lowe. I've been a member of this congregation for over 25 years, but actually my name tag says since 1998. So that's when we joined, myself and my husband Robert. My children, Sequoia and Daisy, were born and raised as Unitarian Universalists within this congregation. Being raised as UUs is a big part of who they are today, and we like that. I love how you always embrace us as a family, as well as individuals. I wish I was raised UU. The Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Danbury has been gathering together for over 200 years. And as we work to build a more just world, we respectfully acknowledge that our physical building is on the traditional land of the Paugussett people. I am so glad that you are able to join us this morning because you are an essential part of our celebration today. Whether today is your first or 1,000th Sunday in our midst, in person or online, we are stronger because you are with us. If you're new to our community and joining us online, we invite you to introduce yourself and where you are connecting from in the chat box as you are comfortable. At the conclusion of today's service, you will have the chance to participate in a breakout group for individual connections and deeper check-ins. If you are new and here in person, please fill out a visitor card at the table near the exit before you leave today. And consider staying for a few minutes after the service for coffee and conversation. We are one people of many beliefs, many origins, sexualities, and genders. We are all growing, all learning, all loved. Just as you are welcome here. I have one announcement to make. The next concert in our live acoustic music series, Music at the Ridge, is coming up a week from today, Sunday, December 4th at 4 p.m. here in the Fellowship Hall, featuring Jeff Kaufman. Jeff was a maritime musician at Mystic Seaport for 35 years. Flyers in the lobby or check out our website at musicattheridge.org. Today, we welcome Reverend Michael O'Sullivan as our guest speaker. Mike chose the Unitarian faith rather than being born into it. He began his journey into religious life by studying for the Catholic priesthood. Having decided this was not the path for him, he left and pursued a career as a radio disc jockey. Mike became a Unitarian, being drawn by the open and inclusive approach to religion, and began studies as a student minister. He was ordained in 2017 and took up the position as minister to the church in Cork. In his 5 years, he has undertaken a renovation of the Cork church, which dates back to 1717. Mike is married to Kay, who is an educator, as is their daughter.
So this is our moment to greet one another. And those of you online, I wanted to say that you are also part of what's happening in this fellowship hall this morning. And we are glad that you are here. So turn and wave to the camera. And take a moment to greet one another. Those behind you, those maybe someone you don't know or haven't said hello to lately. Okay. Our hymn of welcome, 188, will be on the screen. Let's rise. We sing better when we're standing up. Worship, lover of me, is no caravan of despair. Oh, yet again, come worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Test. It is now time for our chalice lighting affirmation. You can join me in the words. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and justice is its light. This is our covenant to dwell together in peace, to seek and speak the truth in love, to help one another and celebrate life. Put your UUs high in the air and let's do our children's affirmation. There are no children in the room, but there are children inside each one of us. So here we go. We are Unitarian Universalists. We are people with open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands. We care for the earth and each other. And now we go to Ireland, to Reverend Michael Sullivan in County Cork.
I love that phrase, there's a child within each of us. It sets us up for our story this morning. The story is taken from a book called Walking on Water by the Jesuit priest Anthony de Mello. Our story reminds us never to be limited by what others tell us. Once a long time ago, an Indian warrior found an eagle's egg on a mountaintop, and he put this eagle's egg next to the eggs that a hen was going to sit on. When the time came, the chicks hatched, and so did the little eagle. The tiny eagle grew alongside the hatchlings, and after some time it learned to crackle like a chicken, to scratch the ground, to poke for worms, and limit itself to going into the lower branches of the bushes, just like all the other chickens. And it kept living with the idea that it was a chicken. One day when it was old, the eagle was looking up to the sky and saw something truly magnificent. Up there in the bright blue, a majestic bird was flying in the open sky without effort. The old eagle was awestruck and turned to the nearest chicken and said, "What kind of bird is that?" The chicken looked up and answered, "Oh, that's the golden eagle, the queen of the sky. But don't pay any attention to it, for you and I are down here below." The eagle never looked up again and died thinking it was a chicken. And now I invite us all to sing This Little Thing of Mine.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine.
It's now time for our spoken milestones. Actually, let's do silent milestones first. If you have a milestone that is in your heart that you would like to signify simply by placing a stone in the bowl, please come up and do so. A silent reflection. Yeah.
The world is full of noise, and that is good. It is the sound of life happening. But life also happens at a deeper and a quieter level. When did you last hear the grass grow? At its heart, life is but a whisper. So together we enter that depth of life in a moment of quiet reflection. We bring our silence to an end this morning. We leave the silence behind us and fill the air with the noise of music as together we sing hymn number 123, The Spirit of Life.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Moving on, giving life the shape of justice. Rose would be closed, wings that me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. I'm going to give you a moment to pick up the nearest black hymnal and open to 443, a responsive reading, because I want you to respond. So you're going to say what's in italics. We arrive out of many singular rooms. We arrive out of many singular rooms, walking over the branching streets. We enlarge our voices in common speaking and singing. We try again that solitude found in the midst of those who with us speak their ignorance. Our eyes reclaim the remembered faces. Their voices stir the surrounding air. Warm of their hands assures us in the gladness of our spoken days. This is the reason of cities, of homes, of assemblies in the houses of worship. It's now time for our congregational offering. If you are with us for the first time, your presence here, virtual or actual, is your gift to us. Members gathered here in Fellowship Hall, please express your generosity as our greeters circulate the donation basket. Those online may click a link posted in the chat to make a donation or pledge. You may also mail a check to UUCD at 24 Clapham Ridge Road in Danbury, 06811. As we create this holy place together, thank you for doing your part to support and sustain this community we love.
Well, a very good morning to each of you. And can I thank you for the kind invitation? I'm delighted to be here with you this morning. We'll see by the end of the sermon how delighted you are. May I say a big thank you to all involved in making this happen. The level of preparation and planning has really impressed me. It reminds me of a swan, graceful above the water, but below the water, a lot of movement that is never seen. And as I am here and you are there, a vast ocean between us, I am reminded that really there is nothing between us. We are all a part of the interdependent web of life. The routes we take may differ, but at the end of the day, our journey is the same. Someone once said, life is short, but it's the longest journey we undertake. This morning, I am also reminded that our Unitarian Universalist Church is a global one. We are each of us part of a larger family, you of mine, and this morning, me of yours. This morning, although it is late afternoon here, I come to you from our Unitarian Church in Cork in Ireland. We held our service earlier today, probably just as the dawn was rising where you are. Our service was held in this very space, newly built within our church building. We have called it the Spirit of Life Chapel. Cork City has a population of about 150,000 people, and ours is the oldest church in the city, dating back 305 years. And I have been ordained and have been minister of this church for the past 5 years. I'm not sure how much you know about Ireland, but most people would be aware of its reputation as being a Catholic country. That is changing. We remain the only country in the world where people voted for same-sex marriage by way of a democratic vote. And we have liberalized our abortion laws, again by a democratic vote expressing the wish of the people. With COVID-19 and the various church abuse scandals that are still making headlines in our country, it is fair to say that religion, or more to the point, Christianity, has taken quite a beating. But it was a Catholic country, so much so that up until about 150 years ago, it was a criminal offense to identify as a Unitarian. Thankfully, those days are gone, or I would be broadcasting this morning from the local prison. Like all churches around the world, we have been hit by COVID. The recovery process is slow. And here in Ireland, across the landscape, the days of packed churches are a thing of the past. Recently, I was chatting to a Unitarian colleague who is based in Dublin, and as clergy sometimes do, we were having a good old-fashioned moan. She wondered why it was that, given the decline of the main Christian churches here in Ireland, our own Unitarian churches weren't packed to the rafters every Sunday. After all, given our ethos, our approach to religion, you might imagine they would be. We preach and seek to practice a message of openness, inclusion, and an affirmation of the individual journey. So, what's not to like? We do not force you to believe anything you are not comfortable with. We do not ask you to twist and turn your mind to accept the message we offer. I suspect for a lot, and hopefully most people, our ethos is an attractive one. Our vision, one that resonates and seems in touch with modern life. And yet something seems to hold them back. Some invisible chain that can't be broken. It's what I call the awkward truth at the very heart of who we are. It was Benjamin Franklin who famously said, "Nothing is certain but death and taxes." And while deep down we all know this to be the case, so many of us seek to beat the system because we crave certainty. Those who believe that the earth is flat, for example, remain certain that it is, and nothing will change their mind despite the overwhelming proof that it is not. And we seek certainty in every aspect of our lives because it is a comfort. We seek it in our relationships and in our work. It's why we plan for tomorrow. This morning, if you got into your car, you were certain that when you turned the key, your car would start. You didn't sit there in a panic wondering, would your car start? You see, we take things for granted. That's a mask for the certainty we crave, despite it never actually being on offer. And when certainty is taken from us, when it is removed, and the fragile nature of life and our very being is exposed, then often we are lost. As you may know from reading my bio, like most Irish people, I was raised a Catholic. I trained for the priesthood, and when I left that faith behind me. While, like all of us, I too crave some degree of certainty in my life, I could never for the life of me figure out those who spoke and speak with such certainty about what is the greatest mystery, that which we may call God. I could not understand the concept that God was a mystery and yet was defined as if it were a mathematical equation. I could not accept volumes of knowledge written with such certainty and being about an entity, a force that we cannot prove even exists. I could not accept a worldview based on a book written thousands of years ago, when the view of the world was so different from ours today. In fact, I often think that we have progressed as a species over the last 2,000 years. Our view of life, our planet, and ourselves has changed so much. And yet, by and large, our views of that which we may call God have not. But most of all, I could not accept that belief in this being required that I not think, but simply join the crowd, believe what I was told, and do what I was told. And that is the awkward truth at the heart of who we are as Unitarians. As a faith, as a religion, a church, a movement, we do not offer certainty. And for many who may be attracted to our ethos and to our message, that is perhaps a bridge too far. We don't offer certainty about God. Many of us may not even use that term. Most of us do not think of a higher power in traditional ways. We do not offer the certainty of forgiveness for your sins and the promise of everlasting life. We do not speak of heaven as a final destination for those who have been saved. Indeed, we may not speak of heaven at all. Above all, we do not tell you how to live your life and make you feel bad while you are doing it. And as we approach Christmas or the holiday season, we do not offer you the certainty of a baby born to save humankind from its sins. But most of all, we don't dangle before you the illusion of some kind of divine perfection for you to endlessly chase, while all the while ending up disappointed, because perfection is always an illusion. Have you ever noticed that those who chase certainty also chase perfection? And as Unitarians, we do not give you a book and say, all the answers are in here. This is the plan for your life. In fact, we don't offer any answers at all. What we seek to do is awaken within the questions. And that's the awkward truth at the heart of who we are. Deep down, knowing certainty is a mask we wear, many seek and indeed demand certainty in their religion. Many, it seems, really don't want to work for the answers. They want to be told with certainty the path to follow, that yellow brick road leading to the wizard in the sky. And in many ways, this perplexes me. As we have seen with the invention of the World Wide Web by the English Unitarian Sir Tim Berners-Lee, a tidal wave of information is now available to us. Most of us have the good sense not to believe everything we read on the internet, but sadly, it seems many do not. Everybody is now an expert. Everybody peddles certainty. Your curious mind can now be engaged with a click of a mouse. It has never been easier to seek answers. And education has played a crucial role. More now than ever, more people have access to third level degree education. One of the remarkable things about university or college life is that it forces you to think for yourself. Knowledge is not spoon-fed. It has resulted in a seismic shift. For years ago, the minister may have been the most educated person in the church on Sunday. That is no longer the case. And yet, despite our progress in education, it seems that when it comes to religion, many leave their education at the front door. It's almost as if God seems to say, education, you won't need that in here. I'm just back from a visit to North Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee. And while there, I attended a UU church. But I also decided for some unknown reason to experience a Baptist church service as well. One church offered me certainty, a God preoccupied with saving us from ourselves. The other church, it offered life. Life full of questions, full of mystery, full of wonder and doubt and hope. It offered me the call to embrace the tapestry of life with all its bright and colorful expressions. It offered bravery and courage, the courage to say, I will ask questions, I will seek answers, and with the realization that those answers may never be found, but the seeking will never stop. When we built our new chapel within our church earlier this year, we were trying to decide on a name. We chose the Spirit of Life Chapel because within its four walls every Sunday, that is what we seek to celebrate, the Spirit of life. We do not worship certainty. We do not gather to be impressed by absolutist answers. We honor eternal truths held deep within the human heart. We honor love, peace, justice, and equality for all. We gather to be a part of and immerse ourselves in this great adventure of life, because that's the wonderful thing about an adventure. There is no certainty. As a church moving forward, what we offer is unique in the religious landscape. Values above creed, the individual rather than the institution, the uncertainty of the journey rather than the certainty of the destination. It is not for everyone, but it is for us. So this morning, let's be grateful for the awkward truth that is at the heart of who we are. Because the great irony is that certainty divides us, and as strange as it may seem, uncertainty unites us. So let us all rejoice in the Spirit of life, that great spirit of uncertainty, for it is who we are, and awkward truth. Amen.
Please join me in the words for extinguishing our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world until we are together again. Let's rise. Heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, we are
with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place. When we tell a story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place. When we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our hearts stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place.
Once again, before we finish up, it has been a privilege and a joy to be with you this morning, and may I wish your church and each of you well and a peaceful week ahead. Our closing words. May we each of us embrace life and the uncertainty it offers. Let us live the awkward truth. And in doing so, may the blessing of truth be upon us, the power of love direct and keep us, and may the peace of this gathering preserve us from this time until we meet again. For each of us, may this be so. Amen.